All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. We are going to get started right now, and what we're going to be talking about is how you can profit from the PLR Sales Funnels product system. You already have a fantastic PLR package. Now you want to know, what can I do to start seeing a return on what I've already bought? And so this session, we're going to be talking about how you can use your PLR to build an authority and a following. You probably already know that having people come to you as opposed to you going out to try to get the buyers is probably going to lead to more sales. It's going to lead to easier sales. You also want to know, how can I take this PLR? How can I use it to build that list of hungry buyers? You probably want to know, now that I have it, how can I give it? How can I turn it into something? And how can I create products that really solve people's problems, knowing that people will always look for the things to end their pain? You want to know how I can get repeat buyers. So how can I get the same person to buy more and more and more from me if I can provide enough value to them? You probably want to know, how can I use this PLR to start recruiting good JV partners who are going to be ready, willing, and able to promote my products? You probably want to know, how can I create solid marketing funnels that are profitable, from the upsells to the downsells to the front end, making sure that everything throughout my funnel is working so that it provides the maximum return. And how can I get my message right? How can I understand this idea of direct response copywriting? How can I get it into my everyday life as a marketer? And how can I choose the right medium when I start doing paid advertising? What is it that I can do? And of course, we're also going to talk about all the internet stuff, social media, SEO, and all that stuff. Now, you probably want to know a little bit about me before I get started. This is not about me. I just want to give you a little insight on who I am. I got my BS in economics from University of Pennsylvania, my MBA from Syracuse. I finished coursework in instructional technology, but I walked away from it. And then I started in internet marketing, doing an offline membership, did local online radio and local seminars. I ran a membership of about 300. I did all the technical aspects of it. I created and then sold offline PLR. I had 25 top-selling successful products, some of which are still on the market. And I created a super successful retirement sale from offline PLR. And then after that, I left to become the voice, you might even recognize my voice now, behind a number of PLR courses and marketers. And I launched Webinar Fusion Pro with some longtime friends. Most recently, I started a training site for internet marketers called the PLRshow.com, and I'm currently the training manager with PLR Sales Funnels. That's me in a nutshell. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about some statistics that I found by doing a survey of internet marketers on my site. Here's what I found out. About a third of them had already sold affiliated products, but half of them had never made a dime online. I don't know if that fits you in any way, shape, or form. Most of them felt like their biggest obstacle in internet marketing was shiny object syndrome and information overload. So in other words, it wasn't the technical aspects, it wasn't that they didn't like CPA marketing or affiliate marketing, wasn't the knowledge barrier, it was shiny object syndrome. In other words, they were buying too much but not seeing any return, and information overload. Too many things, too many priorities, too much coming at them in order to really get started. The paralysis of analysis. And the biggest request that I got, right, when I asked the people who surveyed, I said, what would you like to see? What is it that you want to see right now if we were to put together the right kind of training? And what their answer was, it was almost a little shocking. They said, we want to know how we can make money with all this PLR we have. Isn't that something? Out of all the things in internet marketing, they said, we've got all this PLR, we want to know how we can make money from it. And then where do we get started? Now, the biggest challenge that they saw, right? This is direct from the people who took the survey. The biggest challenge they saw was traffic and getting set up in their business. That was the biggest challenge. I don't know how many of you feel as if, boy, if I could just get traffic, if I could just get my offer set up quickly and then get traffic to them, I could start figuring out how to do this internet marketing thing. So what I'm going to be talking about here in this session is how you can use PLR to make money, and then how to set it up. Now, we want to get to this, and we want to make sure we talk about it in the right sequence. So I want to give you an overview right now, because I think this is so vital, is that you understand some really, really key basic principles about marketing that transcend internet marketing, that transcend entrepreneurship, that if you understand these principles, you'll understand exactly where your product fits in, exactly where your PLR fits in. You'll probably even intuitively understand what it is you have to do. Now, I want to tell you this, that these principles have been around ever since there was marketing. And you might think, well, how could that possibly be? When I tell you what they are, you will start to understand them. The first is making sure that you have a unique selling proposition. Now, this is vital because you want to make sure that you have something that people have to come up, they have to skip over all the other marketers, they have to skip over all the other vendors, they have to skip over all the other people selling stuff in order to get it from you. What is it about your product? What is it about the service you're offering? What is it about your brand that people can only get it from you? What is it that is unique to your business? And every product that has sold over the long term. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't have a unique selling proposition, you can't make money. Right? There are lots of people who are making money, but the thing is, can you sustain it, right? Do you have a sustainable competitive advantage? And when you have that, your unique selling proposition will be the thing that carries you, because I've got to come to you to get it, and I can't get it from anyplace else. Now, there's also exponential selling. And we're seeing this, right? Marketers are now starting to understand this. And what do we call it? We call it funnels, right? Just a fancy way of saying that we're doing exponential selling. In other words, once the buyer has bought one thing, they're going to buy another, they're going to buy an upsell. They might buy a cross sell. They might buy a downsell. So that buyer might buy 3 times as opposed to 1. So in other words, if we can profit a second, third, and fourth time from one customer, that means exponential profits. That means that every buyer that comes into our marketing funnel, we're going to see more and more profits. And that is really what we want to try to do in marketing. It is a universal principle. Right? And so you must do this. You mustn't have just one offer. You've got to make sure that you've got that second, third, and fourth offer waiting. Now, we've also got database marketing. Now, what does that mean? Well, we've all heard it, and we hear it so often that we can say it in our sleep. The money is in the list. This is not just internet marketing, folks. Now, it seems as if we understand it well because we understand email marketing, autoresponders, but companies that understand database marketing, however they do it, whether they do it by direct mail, whether they do it by social media, whether they do it by email, companies that understand this make money every day, right? And that is the key. Understanding how to get in contact with the people who are going to be buying your product, and then making sure that you're contacting them on a regular basis. Strategic relationships, right? Again, universal principle. We call it JV marketing. But companies that do this, that do strategic marketing alliances and making sure that they've got affiliate partners and people that they can work together with. People, when you're working together and you are getting the benefit of having someone else's database market with you and for you, what it does is it instantly expands your reach. And when you can do that consistently, when you can do that across the board, and we know that in internet marketing, this is what causes us to be able to grow fast, right? So not only are we growing exponentially by making sure that every buyer that comes through our marketing funnel buys, but we're also making sure that we're growing out there. We're going wide, we're growing faster because we're building on the basis of other people's databases. There's media marketing, media matching. Making sure that once we understand how we're converting, once we understand what sells, once we understand who's buying, we then go to media marketing. We then go and start spending our profit. We spend a little bit of our profit to make a lot more. But see, this is kind of where we start to understand we don't need to dismiss paid marketing. As a matter of fact, we need to be chomping at the bit to do paid marketing with our profits. We've just got to generate profits first. And we've got to understand what's converting and what's working. And once we understand that, We should be doing all of the paid advertising that we can. We should be doing Facebook advertising. We should be doing YouTube advertising. We should be doing retargeting. We should be doing all of it. But what we first have to do is we have to get all of these other factors moving together. We've also got direct response marketing. In other words, messaging one-to-one. This is what we call in our industry copywriting, where we talk to people exactly from the basis of how they're going to benefit, how they're going to get rid of their pain, how that we understand them, and how our product and service fits what it is they have. Again, universal principles that all come into play in content marketing. In other words, how do we get into position to even communicate our USP? We've got to be able to use it all. We've got to be able to use the internet. We've got to be able to use books and blogging and podcasts and social media. You know, some people think that is marketing, right? Some people think that blogging is marketing and podcast is marketing and social media is marketing. And while it can be a vital and it can be a fascinating way in order to get traffic, it is not all of marketing. As you can see, all of these other things must be working together in a system. And when you understand your PLR inside of each one of these factors, you are going to start to figure out, okay, now here's how I could really profit with my PLR. And then internet promotion. You know, as I said, content and SEO and all those things, they're just one part of the equation. And we really want to be able to master this as we go forward. Okay, now, so I've got PLR. What am I trying to do? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Let me give you a little context now that you understand marketing. Now, you are in the business opportunity niche. What does that mean? That means then that we are basically in an industry where the primary function of what it is that we do is we help other people make money, and we make money by doing that. We are looking for people who are seeking business opportunities. They may or may not want to be in business. They may or may not want to have a business license. They may or may not want to have an office. All of those things don't matter to us. We are looking at people who are looking for a business opportunity, and we are looking in that very same way ourselves. We are inside the business opportunity niche, we are in the information marketing business. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean that we are in the information marketing business? That means we sell solutions, right? That means our PLR, right? When we sell an ebook, when we sell a package, when we sell a mind map, when we sell a course, we are selling solutions, right? We're selling solutions to people who have a problem. We're selling knowledge. We're selling not only that solution, but we're also selling expertise. So in other words, we're bringing people a level of knowledge they cannot get now, of course. Now, here's what you commonly hear, don't you? You commonly hear that, well, I could go and get all that information for free on YouTube. I could find all that information for free on Google. Good luck trying to find someone you can trust. Good luck trying to find some place where you can get all the information without spending hours and hours and hours getting the right information. What we're doing is we are organizing the internet for people. We are providing value for people, convenience for people, expertise, and trust. And so when you do that and you're selling the solution, what you're doing is you're saving people time, you're saving people the worry and hassle of trying to find someone that they can trust. And so here's what PLR is. Whether you call it PLR, Master Resale Rights, MRR, whatever it is, right? What we have, and listen carefully, it is raw digital material for those of you who are in accounting, for our accounting terminology, right? It's raw material, right? We take this raw material and we turn it into something that is going to be a finished product that we're going to sell. In some cases, we might get the whole package and we can sell it as is. But we take PLR, Master Resale Rights, and we turn it into something that people can use. Now, what does that mean? Now, long time ago, back in the old days of internet marketing, back in 2009, that wasn't too long ago, but for some it was, John Reese was the first person that gave us the term content factory. It was true then, it is true today. We need to have content factories that produce solutions, expertise, and trust, content factories that produce information to draw people into our marketing funnel. We must have content factories, and that is what PLR does for us. Look, We are converting our digital raw material, our PLR, into a tangible solution. And that is why when we bring our PLR, when we stick that buy button on there and we put it before our buyers are going to buy because we turn it into a tangible solution. When you start thinking about your PLR, it's not just that you bought an information product. It's not just something to sit on your hard drive. It is a tangible solution. You've got to find the people that have the problem. When you find the people that have the problem, that need the information, that need the solution, your PLR is power, and it will sell, and you will turn it into a tangible solution. The intangible element in information marketing, as I said, is time. Right? See, here's what Rhodes products do for you. They allow you to leverage time. Right? You are leveraging time. So in other words, you're not going through the research process. Right? You're not going through the creation process. You're not going through the sales process. You're not going through all those other processes. You are leveraging time. And when you understand that you have purchased something to leverage time, you will then start to understand the money behind the time. Because either if you take the time to actually go out and produce a product in the very same way and you write the sales copy in order to sell it to the people, I can tell you for a fact that you're probably talking about somewhere in the area conservatively of about $3,000 to $5,000 conservatively, right? And that's not even taking into account that you've individualized the product. So when you start talking about leveraging time, what you have in your hands is not only have you saved the time, you've also saved about $3,000 to $5,000 of preparation time and the money to get the product ready. But now here is what you need to understand. You also need to understand how time works in information marketing. And the other thing is this. When you go to a buyer, you must understand that you are saving them time also. You are leveraging their time. Once again, understand something. This sometimes really all internet marketers need to hear and understand that they are providing value, right? You should be proud of the fact that what you're doing is you're saving that mother, right, who doesn't have time to sit down and understand Facebook and all that. They don't have time to do 10,000 internet searches. They've got a number of things to do with their kids. They've got a number of things to do with family. They need to have a solution ready made. You're talking to that person who's already got a job. They've got a full-time job, but they're coming home in the evening and they're seeking to learn internet marketing. You're selling them a solution so that they can make the most of that hour or two at home so that they can spend a little bit of time with their kids, and then when the kids go to bed, they're going to go to work in order to make life better. You're saving and leveraging time. You must understand that, and you must understand the value that you bring to people so that when you present your solution, you present it with confidence and pride. Now, what do we mean by time and information marketing? Well, time is typically presented so that you can set up multiple internet business systems to sell on autopilot. Remember, we are in the business opportunity niche. So when we set up a business system, right, we don't need permission to set up a second one. We don't need a business license to set up a second internet business system to sell on autopilot so that we can profit from it. Now, it seems that simplistic, but I want to tell you what comes first. Look, Here's what's key in information marketing. The more you understand your market, right? You might say, well, I'm in the weight loss niche. Well, do you understand that market? I'm in the low carb dieting niche. Do you understand the market? I'm in the low carb dieting and on a budget niche. Do you understand that market? Right? The more unique your product, the more valuable the offer, the faster it's going to sell. Right? The more you understand what the market is looking for, what questions that they're asking. Now, the key here is the faster you launch and sell, the faster you'll recruit JVs. Right? Now, the further you get somebody into the marketing funnel, the faster you're going to sell things. The better you can convert your PLR into a unique solution, the faster your sell. Time matters. Time matters. right? It's not just that you want to get a product up for sale, right? Speed matters, and getting into motion matters, and getting into profit fast matters, because the faster you make the money, the faster you're going to be able to generate more within a specific period of time. Time matters. When you understand that you want to make that making $3,000, right, in internet marketing is great. Making $3,000 in a month is good. Making $3,000 in a week is fantastic. Making $3,000 in a day is even better. And so time matters. And what you're trying to do is condense time by getting unique solutions, tangible solutions into the people, into their hands, so they'll buy them fast. Now, I've been a seller appeal. I've been on both sides of the table. Right, I've been on both sides of the table, and I can tell you this from a fact, from just my personal opinion. You can be a seller of PLR, you can be a user of PLR. Both are profitable when you understand how they make you money. Right? You have to when you understand them both, they'll make you money. Now, here's the thing. Here's the key principle in information marketing PLR. Now, you'll learn faster by doing what information marketers do than what we tell you to do. Now, I want you to get that, right? You'll learn faster by watching what people do, and then rather than doing what you're told to do. So I know you buy a lot of instruction. I know you buy a lot of stuff, and sometimes you get to the point and you're on mailing list. You think, oh no, I'm not. I'm getting off the mail list. I'm going to unsubscribe. That is the wrong thing to do, folks. What you want to do is make sure you understand. Look, when somebody sold you a product, how did they reach you? When somebody got you to buy it, how did they get you to buy? When someone got you to buy an upsell, how did they get you to buy? You should be observing every single process so that you understand it, so that you can use it for yourself. Now, I'll tell you this. I want you to think about, how many of y'all ever heard of the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Probably heard of that, right? World famous, long time. Maybe it might be a little old for you, depending on how old you are. But the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is an evergreen product. It's probably going to be around forever. You probably heard of that. You probably heard of the book, The Science of Getting Rich, right? You probably heard of a guy that did a series called Mega Memory, but please do not do what this guy did. There's another fellow who did something called Mega Speed Reading. There was another fellow who did a book called The Purpose Driven Life. There was another group of people that did books called Chicken Soup for the Soul. I want you to get this when it comes to PLR, time, and information marketing. All these are information marketers. All of these folks. Stephen Covey, The Science of Getting Rich, Mega Memory, Kevin Trudeau, Mega Speed Reading, Howard Bird, Purpose Driven Life, Rick Warren, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Jack Canfield. All these are information marketers, and they are prolific. And notice I pick people that don't necessarily market on the internet, right? Because the principle is the same. When you understand this principle, you are going to get it, and you're going to be a phenomenal information marketer with the PLR that you have. Understand this. What do all of these pre-internet products have in common? Right? What do they all have in common? Other than the fact that they sold a gazillion, billion, jillion copies. Other than they made these guys rich. What do they all have in common? Here's what they all have in common. The authors didn't invent the content. So when you start talking about, well, this PLR stuff, does it really work? Yeah, it worked for these people. And when you understand this principle has been around since the beginning of marketing and the beginning of time, and since there were business opportunities, information marketing, all the stuff before the internet worked. And it will work after it will work while it's in the internet, it will work whatever's coming next. It's going to work. Now, here's how you're going to profit. Here's how you're going to profit. Here's what these folks did, and you can do it on the internet. You can do it off the internet. Stop looking for a niche. Find the passion. Find the need. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, it's not just about your passion, folks, and I know you've heard that. Well, you know what? Find the place where you're passionate and you're going to be able to do all this wonderful work. Well, that's part of the process, right? It's not about your passion. Here's a news flash. Your customer doesn't care about your passion that much. Your customer cares about their passion. And so you got to find their passion. Where's your customer's passion? Where's your prospect's passion? Find the passion, find the need, right? Find the passion, find the need. Use PLR to solve their problem and help them get what they want. Find the passion, find the need. Use PLR to solve the problem and help them get what they want. Now, here's the thing about information marketing. You don't have to be the first one. You just have to be the best one. And you just have to be the newest one, right? Sometimes it's not about being the first person to come out with. You have to invent something, right? You don't have to be the invent one. As I recall, Apple did not invent the MP3 player, right? They just got there and they were the best at it, though. They were the coolest, right? And when theirs was cool, it looked new, didn't it? Right? And they're still cool. So it's not always about being the first, just be the best, right? So find the passion, find the need. How many of us, now here's a question for you. Here's a question for you. And I just want you to think about this for a second. How many of you all have multiple products on the same subject? How many of you all have multiple books on the same subject? Multiple courses on the same subject? I bet most of you do. So when you start talking about, well, I don't want to sell that because people have already bought that. That's evidence that you need to be selling it. Because listen, most of us have multiple products on on the same subject. What we've got to do is we've got to just get in front of the people who have the passion, because those are going to be the people who are going to buy 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of books, and yours is going to be one of them, right? What we've got to do as information marketers is we've got to be like the information marketers before the internet. We've just got to be good. I use the word prolific at solving certain kinds of problems, right? You can't solve every problem and be prolific, but you can solve one. You can solve two. Now, here's what PLR does. PLR does, it saves you time in solving the problem. So when you find out here's where the passion is, here's where the market is, you don't have to go and create all the stuff yourself. You get the PLR and you put it together in a way in order to solve the problem. Listen, information marketing, there's no magic bullet, right? Stop looking for one. There is no magic bullet to making money online long term. Now, again, here's what I want you to do. Now, I know I've heard a lot talked about scaling up. I want you to think about this before you start scaling up. How do you want to build your business? Okay, you got to decide this. Got to decide this now. So you've got this. You're at this point. You're at the beginning. How do you want to build your business? You've got PLR. You've got a lot of products. You can build a business. How do you want to build it? How do you want to use your PLR products to market and build your list? How do you want to do it? Okay, there are a lot of ways to do it, and you don't have to do it all one way. Okay, how are you going to build multiple business systems? In other words, how are you going to build one profit center, right, and then build a second profit center so that it's evergreen and it runs on autopilot, right? So if you get a PLR product, so that your traffic is going to that product, so the traffic keeps going to that product, and you build a system so that the profit keeps coming because you have your upsell, your downsell, you have everything in place. How will you build multiple business systems? Now, I'm going to tell you about something now that was made famous by the guy. For a while, there was a guy named Sean Souza. Now, you may or may not have heard of him, but in 2010, he was the it child. Oh, Frank Kern and Mike Filsaime and all these guys, they were talking about Sean Souza. Who is Sean Souza? He did something called psychotactics. Everybody's quoting him, and here's what Sean Souza did, right? He had this really cool cycle, right, that he talked about in information marketing. He'd done studies and tests, and he'd done lots of research. And this is why his information was so incredibly valuable. There were 4 things he said you got to do. He said you got to figure it out. In other words, you got to find market solutions for market problems. That's cheap, right? You don't need a lot of money in order to do that. You just got to be hanging around the right people. And now, because there's internet, we can hang around in those groups in Quora. We can hang around those groups in LinkedIn. We can hang around those groups in marketing forums. We can hang around those groups in Facebook. What are the problems that people are having, and what are people willing to buy? Test it out. So in other words, one of the marketers that is prolific in terms of the way he tests, and he makes money by generating tests. His name is Ryan Dice. You probably have stuff from him. And what he does is he tests things out, right? He goes out and he tests out a market solution. So once you figure out a market solution, it may or may not work. You got to go test it out. And then you got to go teach it out. How many of y'all have heard of Sean Mize? This guy is a machine when it comes to teaching. And he teaches. And he's prolific in terms of what he publishes. So once you figure it out, then you can test it out. Does it work? And once you figure out what it works, then you can teach it out. And then you got to get it out. You got to launch, right? There's Tiffany Dow and Liz Tomei and all the other PLR marketers. You want to then get it out. Once you know what works and you've taught on it and your name is out there, listen, you might be thinking, well, I don't have a big name right now. You don't need a big name. Right? You figure out the market solution, the stuff people are trying to solve. You test it out, make sure it works. You start teaching. Right? Most of you know enough to start teaching. You should be teaching on webinars. You might say, well, who's going to come to my webinar? Well, when you first start doing webinars, I can tell you this, nobody's going to come. But when you start doing webinars, you do them consistently, everybody's going to come. But you got to keep doing them. Right? You got to be known for doing and teaching on a certain subject before people say, that's the guy. Oh, you know what? I think I saw something about him. He teaches on that. Right? Nobody knows you're teaching on that because until you get consistent, until you're prolific. Right? Till you publish. Right? What do I mean by publishing? Do I mean that you got to go and get a traditional publisher? No. I mean there's all kinds of ways to publish. That means you can create a product and put it on the Warrior Forum and JVZoo. That means you can put a product on ClickBank, publish. That means you can put a product on Amazon Kindle, publish. Right? You can put a course on Udemy, publish. Publish, and be prolific. Right? Then get it out. Launch it. Right? Launch it. Start launching. Right? You should be launching on a regular basis once you know it works. Right? And don't expect that everybody's going to buy your product all at once, but that's not the way it works. You don't have to have the big launch. All you really got to have is something that you know works. Right? Something that you know works. Now, you can build it with a team. Like PLR Sales Funnel. You've got people who are partnering up. Now, I'm not talking about going to get a big staff. I'm talking about going to partner with people who have what you don't have. Right, who going to get together with people who have these skills. You can say, hey, can you do this? Well, yeah, man, I can do that part. Can you do this part? Yeah, I can do that part. And you start coming together. And here's the thing. I come back to speed. Right? If it takes you 5 months to launch a product by yourself because you don't know how to write copy or you don't know how to do graphics, and then you might get together with 2 or 3 other people and you launch in 3 weeks. Right, but you got to split. You said, well, I don't want to have to split it 3 ways. Well, who do you think makes more money? Right, the person who launches in 3 weeks or the person who launches in 4 weeks but doesn't split anything? Of course, the person who launches with 3 other people and splits it. Because guess what they can do the next month? They can launch another product next month. And when they get better at it, they can launch 2 the next month. And probably within the span of time that you might have been launching, but you didn't want to split it with anybody, they've launched 4 products, you've launched 1. Right, build it with a team. Decide how you want to build. You can build it with outsourcing. There's a gentleman named John Jonas, you probably heard of him. Speed is key. Right? You get a team and you outsource it to them. Right? That takes skill to know how to do. Okay, you can build it with paid advertising. There's a lady named Amy Porterfield. You probably heard of her. It's surprisingly easy to do it with paid advertising. But you can build a business. You can build a customer base any way you want to using PLR. You can have, when you think about this fact that you've got this raw material, what you've got to do is you've got to move forward quickly and start taking action. But I do want to get to the key and how this is going to work. Now, as soon as you get a piece of PLR, a PLR package, here's what you want to do: separate it. You want to figure out what is it that I have here. I got videos, I got sales pages, I got mind maps, I got all this stuff on a certain subject. Separate it. Figure out exactly what you have. Now, this is actually something I learned from an expert named John Rhodes. It was years ago, right? Back in 2011. I remember he taught this. I wrote it down, and it was the most valuable piece of information I ever got when it comes to PLR. Separate it. Figure out what you have. Categorize it. In other words, make sure you know what you have. Make sure you know each piece you have. You got videos on certain things. You also want to make sure it's in a database. Now, that might be going a little far for some people, right? If you don't have a staff, right? You want to record it so you can look for it and find it, and then you want to start teaching it, right? Start teaching what you have. Now, you might say, no, man, I want to make money. I bought this PLR. I want to start making money. No, what you want to do is you want to build a following. Remember, if I come to you because I thought of you first, right? Eventually, you won't have to think about how many JV partners you have. JV partners will be gravy. Because people are going to be coming to you because they want to see what you're into, man. They want to see what you're all about. They want to see what you've got going, and they buy because of you. You want to start teaching because you need to start building a base of attraction to you. You start sharing it, right? Sharing it. Sharing what you learn, sharing it across social media, sharing with other partners, getting together, collaborating, right, with your PLR. And then you got to put it out there for bait. Right, you start using it for bait. Many PLR packages have one component that I know goes unused, and that's the special report. Right, the special report. You should be using that more so than anything else because that's your bait. That's what you use in order to attract those people that have that problem. And if you've got to change it a little bit so that it solves that certain problem that you know people have, change it. That's what PLR is for. Add to it so it solves that problem. Then what you want to do is start repurposing it and recategorizing. In other words, then once you know what the solution is, you start using different pieces from different packages and different bonuses and different interviews, and you start putting together something that's unique. Because remember, you need to have a unique selling proposition. Right? When you have a unique selling proposition, when you have something, your sales page, something in the components, something in the way you bring it that doesn't look like everybody else, and I know that's a challenge with PLR. I know that's a challenge, right? And so you might not necessarily want to go out and spend the $5 or the $4 or the $6,000 that it's going to take in order to turn your sales page and all that stuff into something unique. You can do that though from the inside though when you go through this process, and then you want to get ready to resell it, right? You want to get ready to resell it, right? And so PLR does no good until you start selling it. Right? You got to get started. You got to get started. You got to get off this call. You got to get in the game. Now, the key to making money is the sales process when you start selling. Now, that almost sounds kind of, what does that even mean? The key to making money during the sales process is the key to selling. I'll tell you what it means. It means a couple of things. Number one, now when you do all that work, right, of getting a nice, unique product ready, you got this PLR, but you've now reformulated it in order to solve a problem that's in the marketplace that you know, you verified, you've been in groups, you already know what the problem is. Your sales page needs to look like it's going to convert the buyers, right? It's got to look like something people want to buy. That's it. Listen, and I can tell you this, you can get people all the way to the door, right, of your product. And if it doesn't look like something they want to buy, folks, I'm going to tell you, all that effort, you'll start to think, you know what, internet marketing sucks, right? I mean, I did a lot of work to get these people, they're not buying. Well, you know what? People have a certain expectation of what they want to buy. It's got to look like something that they want to go and brag to their friends about, right? And so when you've done that work, in order to get the return on what you've done, your sales page has to look like something where people want to buy. Now, when you're putting together a product in information marketing, you and I both know this, you're selling to two groups, right? You are selling to two groups. You are selling to prospects and you're selling to your JV partners. You're not just selling to the prospects in order to turn them into customers. You're also prospecting JV partners, and you got to sell them just as hard. And the sales process is the same. See, when I start talking about a sales page, I'm not just talking about a sales page to your customers. I'm also talking about you need to have a sales page to your JV partners so that when they come there, they feel like, okay, all right, this is cool. I think I'll have a good time giving this to my subscribers. Right? You want them to feel that, and the only way you can do that is make sure that your sales process is looking like something that they want to actually be a part of. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, myself included. Okay, this is where many marketers have in the past, right, unknowingly left money on the table. Okay, because when the JV partner comes, when your customer comes, when your prospect comes, you have a split second to make that sale. Right? When they get there and the visual is not right, you know what? There's some products that are phenomenal, and when you get to the page, it's just something that's just not right. something just doesn't feel right about it. It just doesn't look right. And so you don't move forward because you expect that, look, if you're gonna plunk down, it doesn't matter what you plunk down. You say, well, the product's only $9.97. Doesn't matter about that. Right? What matters is that you are ready to make the sale. You have your best foot forward when somebody comes to your page. The other part of the sales process is you've got to make sure that once they actually buy, and you might say, well, I got the customer now, buddy. I got them. No, actually, the process is just starting. You're still in the sales process once you have the customer. Right? The sales process is still going on. Are you talking about products you put in your download page, Charles? Nope, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about making sure that your customer feels confident about what it is they just bought. What do I mean by that? You can have great content and a great product, but you need to make them feel like, I can't wait to tell other people what I just bought. I just bought this thing, and man, I've been waiting to have. Listen, if your customer is bragging about their purchase, then you've done the right thing in the sales process. If they're not, if they're frustrated and it's kind of thrown together and it doesn't really look like it's high quality, you did a good job of selling, but you just have some download links, it looks kind of sloppy and kind of cheesy. It just kind of feels like, well, why did I bother? And you know what I'm going to tell you? And I've done this, right? There's been times I won't even download the product. If I get to the download page, it doesn't look right. How many of y'all have done that? I mean, it just looks sloppy back there. You can't find anything, or it just doesn't look like something you want to get into. The sales page was good, and you just thought, well, man, this doesn't even look like what they sold me. You got to make sure that your sales process continues once a buyer's actually gotten to your download page. Once they get to your membership site, they need to feel good about it. And so, again, that page needs to look like it's powerful. It needs to look like they're going to get what they paid for. You're still selling even once you've made the sale. And then even before they even get to the download page, folks, even before they get there, we talked about funnels. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't have them and they're not well done, you're leaving money on the table, right? I think there's a book now by Russell Brunson, right, called .com Secrets, and he's just and it's probably one of the best books in internet marketing I've ever read because he's just laying it out. The funnel. You've got to nail down the funnel and make sure that it is solid. And one of the ways you make sure it's solid is that every page that your customer comes to, it communicates more confidence. Because you've got to communicate trust as your customer moves through the funnel. Once they've made the first purchase, you've gotten their trust, but you've got to communicate more trust. And one of the ways you do that is making sure, again, you cannot have your pages, your upsell pages, downsell pages, any of those things to be an afterthought. They've got to be crafted, they've got to look good, and they've got to make your buyer feel like, wow, I'm getting something tangible. I'm getting the solution I was looking for. I'm getting what it is I want. I want to go forward in the process, because if you don't do that, yes, you will get the sale, the first sale, but you'll leave all that money on the table, and your customer will go seek that solution elsewhere. Right? So now, all your upsell pages, they got to do three things. Right? All the funnel pages, here's what they got to do. I want you to write this down if you don't have it. Right? Here's what your funnel pages have to do. They got to communicate urgency. Right? So all your graphics, all your colors, all your pages, they have to say, you need to make a decision now, my friend. Right? Your pages need to say urgency. They need to say quality. Right? When your pages need to be indirectly saying, do you see what this page looks like? This is what the rest of the stuff, this is what the rest of your experience is going to be like. Right? And when your buyer sees that, they think, well, man, if this is the way it's going to be, and all this is going on the psychological level. Nobody's thinking this stuff consciously. Right? You're communicating this on an unconscious level. Quality, urgency, and value. In other words, I need to feel like I ripped you off when I bought something. Right? I need to feel like I got the better end of the deal. Quality, urgency, and quality, everything in your funnel needs to communicate that. And your pages in the sales process, listen, when you go through all that work, doing the content, getting the market solution ready, when you get to that page, you need to make sure that all of these things are in line. And it's vital that, look, if you can't do all this yourself, Okay, you got to get the right team to do it. Right? If you need to outsource it, that might be difficult, but you got to find the right team in order to do this. It's got to be the right team to get the sales page right and make it unique. They've got to be the right team to make your JV page. It's got to be attractive. It's got to be the right way so that your upsell pages make buyers want to buy, or your downsell pages catch the people who want to buy but they don't have all the investment. And at the same time, and this is key, guys, really and truly, you need to have the right team to write copy, you can try to write copy yourself, and you can try to go cheap with the copy, but I can tell you that people who are willing to pay, and I'm just talking about copywriting. Okay, when you're willing to pay $500 to $1,000 for your copywriting, right? That's the minimum. When you're willing to pay $1,500 for your copywriter, right, you're probably just scratching the surface. For big launches, I'm just going to be real with you, you're probably talking about $5,000 for a good copywriter, but you don't care about that because you're going to get it back in sales, right? You're going to get it back in sales. If you must write the copy yourself, I understand that. I understand some people are on the budget, but I'm telling you that that if you're paying $5,000 for copy, you can expect things to sell. If you don't, you're probably wondering whether or not it's going to quite sell. And when you go through all of the work and you've invested the time and you're trying to get, remember, you're not just trying to get money back, you're trying to get time back. And to write effective copy, it takes a long time. Weeks, right? It takes weeks to sit. The school of thought in writing good copy says that you must write 100 headlines until you get them right. Right? 100 headlines. Now, that might not be what you do, but I'm telling you, the people who you're competing against, that's what they're doing. Right? They're doing all that. And so if you've either got to have a team of people somebody's going to do that, or if you're going to do it yourself, just be prepared to have it take longer. Right? And again, you're working against your self-interest when you have it take longer. Now, the other thing is, remember, it's got to be formatted. So in other words, you got to have a team that's going to wait for your copywriter and get that format right, so your sales pages look right, and it's got to be consistent with that delivery page and the membership page, right? It's got to be consistent. Remember, you're still selling when you get to that page. And here's just what I want to tell you guys, folks. It's not hard to do. I mean, it's not easy to do. It just is not. This is not only once you've gotten done with the product and you matched it to the market, you just got started. You really just got started. And as you can tell, man, if you're paying $5,000 for a copy, it's probably not going to be cheap. And so that's really why we want to make our very own team available to you. And we want to do this so that our team, the very same team that puts our products together, we want to put that team to work for you. And the reason we sell our products is really because we want to see you succeed. Right? We want to see you do well. We want to see you excel in what it is that you're trying to do in your business to build your internet marketing business. So you don't have to worry about spending your time to hire a team. You don't have to worry about writing your own copy, right? You don't have to worry about trying to format all the copy into the pages or having graphics that makes your membership page and makes your sales page look right. We're taking care of that right now, right now, for 7 people starting today. So we're taking care of this problem, right? We're solving this problem right now for 7 people. And that really means that we're going to price it, obviously, for somebody who's serious about selling their product. Right now you understand, yeah, it's gonna, copy's gonna cost $1,500 to $5,000. Graphics is gonna cost you $3,000, $4,000. We want to make sure that you can get in though and make this convenient, right? And we want to give you the maximum chances for making money with the product in the shortest amount of time possible. Remember, if you can launch quickly, you can launch a second, third, or fourth product before someone else launches their first. And so you don't want to do this, right? If you've got to pay the cost that I just talked about, which is the cost of a full-time designer and copywriter. And I want you to go on over to look at the plrshow.com/design, because right now at this very minute at that page, there is a program available for you. And I want to tell you something, and I really do want to stress this to you. These are our designers. This is our team. It's our team. We put our own products together, and that's really why there are only 7 slots available. That's just because of our schedule, right? We are product creators, and we are putting these products together, and we're just going to extend those savings. We're going to extend that time available. We're going to extend it to you over at the plrshow.com/my-design. The plrshow.com/my-design. And when you get there, make sure you check out some of the results that we've actually brought to our clients who actually take us up on this and utilize our team in order to create their own products. You'll see a solid track record of success, not just for us, but for our clients. Make sure also to check out our sales page examples. You're going to see something that's going to be eye-catching, that's really going to give you that sense, as I talked about, of confidence. What is it that you want your buyer to feel when they come to your page? You want them to feel like they're going to get that tangible solution that they're looking for. And those all-important JVs, they're going to be the ones that really make you and allow you to expand your business quickly. I want you to take a look when you get to this page. Make sure you understand what it is that those JVs are going to be looking for and what we're able to do for you. And we're also going to show you examples of that underrated aspect of internet marketing. It is the delivery page. And this is some place where we also excel. We are going to make you look as good as you possibly can so that when you have your customer come to these pages, we know you're still selling. And they're going to have that confidence that they can go and get another product and know that they're going to be getting what they paid for. And then look, we don't like to name drop. We don't do it. We're pretty proud of our work all by itself, but you're going to see some pretty high profile marketers that use our service and understand what it is that we have to offer you as you get started in your internet marketing business. Remember, the key here is you need high quality, you need confidence, you need value, and you need to be able to do this and do it quickly within a certain period of time. And remember, this pricing is only available for the next 7 people, and you're going to have to move quickly in order to get this because, again, we've got things that we've got to do for our own business, and we want to extend this special pricing for you because we want to see you succeed with the PLR that you have. So if you want to start this month, you are going to have to move now. And we certainly thank you for being here. It's been very enjoyable being here with you. Remember, go to the plrshow.com/my-design. Now, whatever you do, take action. Get started. Look, start marketing. Start promoting your business. Start writing content in order to get people to it. Start selling. Right? Start teaching. Remember, that's valuable. It's powerful. Start doing videos about what it is you have to offer. Be proud of what you have to offer. Remember, you're offering solutions to people who don't have time and sometimes don't have time to go through Google and YouTube and all those places. Start podcasting, right? If you like to do audio, if you like to do video, audio, whatever you like to do, but get started. Remember, we're here for you. Right? Whatever it is that you need, when you're ready now, we're here for you. We're here for you to get ready and get started fast. All you've got to do in order to get started now, to start marketing now, go to the plrshow.com/my-design. Well, again, thank you very much. This has been Charles Terrence Harper. I welcome you and thank you for letting me get to know you a little bit tonight. Head on over there and get started. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.